Hey friends, today's reading will give you a peek inside your dream home. We'll dive in and get a tour of your future life sanctuary. This reading is a sensory tour of your future dream home, your rich life sanctuary. You're going to explore the layout and the details that are aligned with your soul and your wealthiest self. If you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with the Amazonite crystal. We have pile 2 here with the Smokey Quartz Merkaba. We have pile 3 here with Serpentine. And then we have pile 4 here with Sunstone. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile so you can skip ahead to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I will see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, hey friends, welcome to your reading. Let's get some first impressions. Let's talk about the entrance of your home. Let's talk about the energy. What's the first thing that people feel when they walk in? What does it look like? And what kind of neighborhood or land surrounds the home? So we have the Ace of Sticks in reverse here. This is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this represents intentional beginnings, having this inner fire, right? Waiting for the right spark. So when this card is in reverse, I feel like your home isn't about flashy starts or like showing off success, but it's about aligned energy. So you're not rushing into this dream life, you're choosing quality, patience, and soulful resonance. So in your home, the energy when you enter the space, it's very peaceful and it's not overwhelming. Maybe it may have taken a little bit longer to find this home or to build this home, but I'm getting the energy that like it was worth the wait. There's a deliberate restraint in how the space was created, you know, like how each detail was chosen with care. So I wonder if some of you will have like a simple front entrance with like a wooden bench or a crystal grid or a mantra sign, right? Like I can see some of you having like one of those, not placemats, but like welcome mats, but it says like enter with intention, right? Like something cheeky and cute. I'm also seeing like a foyer or a mud room that encourages grounding, right? It's barefoot friendly. Maybe there's like calming music or soft scents going on in here. Maybe some of you here want to have like a lantern or a sconce or like a pendant light that slowly brightens as guests enter, inviting them to pause and feel, you know? Like, you know, when you just like been at work, it's been a busy day, or you've just been maybe like running errands all day or whatever. You've just been busy, right? Spinning your wheels all day. And when you come home, you just need like some sort of space to transition and leave like the day behind and to move back into your peaceful sanctuary, right? So whether it's like a mud room where you could like hang your coat, put your bag and your purse up, or, you know, whatever it is. But I sense that there's some sort of like transitionary area in this home. We also have Rido. So this represents movement and direction and your life path, things like the divine journey. So this symbolizes your soul's journey. This home is a milestone for you, right? It's not just a destination. So it represents coming into alignment with your authentic path, pile 1. I feel like the location may require travel or like a leap of faith. Or maybe some of you here feel like you were led here rather than choosing it through logic alone. I just feel like your home supports flow, you know, emotionally and creatively and spiritually. So for some of you, maybe your dream home is somewhere where you arrive at some sort of hidden, winding drive that's lined with beautiful trees and tall grasses and blooming wildflowers. And it leads to a home that doesn't shout but hums with quiet power. This isn't a place of flashy beginnings, but it's more of like a sacred, intentional pause, if you know what I mean. So as your guests walk in, they feel this immediate sense of shift in energy, right? It feels calm, it feels grounded, it feels even a little awestruck. There's this stillness here that clears any sort of mental clutter that's going on. It's not loud enthusiasm, it's spiritual alignment. The layout is open yet cozy, right? Maybe it's some sort of like sanctuary, you know, like a one-story sanctuary nestled on fertile land, and it's possibly in like this rural or like semi-remote neighborhood, right? So like think a healing retreat tucked into a forested hillside or like a coastal cliff. I also feel like you could have maybe like I'm definitely seeing like you have more than one bedroom, right? Like I think it's like anywhere from like 3, depending, more or less depending on what you need, but I keep seeing like a sacred triad, right? A place for you to rest, a place for you to work, and like a place for guests or multi-purpose or whatever it is, right? A space for you to have an art studio or whatever it is, right? There's just like 3 pillars of the home. And I keep feeling like I wanted to say it earlier, but I feel like your bathroom feels very spa-like. I feel like this is a place where motion meets restoration. I feel like you have a home that's designed to support transitions, right? Like emotional, physical, creative. So let's talk about the interior design. Let's talk about the colors and textures and vibes of your home, right? What colors are in your space? What kinds of furniture do you have? What sort of features are present? How does it smell? How does it feel to the touch, right? We have the Queen of Blades here. So this is the Queen of Swords. I wonder if for some of you here, your future home might be somewhere that has like the seasons, right? It has like all 4 seasons, because where I live, it's very tropical, so we don't experience all 4 seasons. But I feel like maybe where your future dream home is, it could be a place that experiences like snow, right? Although I do want to say that for some of you, I really am feeling very strongly that this could be like a second home for you, right? Because I feel like there's some of you who are like, well, I do like the tropics primarily, but I do want like a place where I can go for different seasons, or like vice versa, right? So there's 2 different camps here. Some of you here, this might just be your primary home. I just wanted to point that out. But in terms of like the interior design, with the Queen of Swords here, this represents clarity and truth and design with discernment. So the Queen is very refined. She's intelligent, she's intentional, and she doesn't need to prove anything. And I feel like her space reflects honesty. It's this sanctuary of mental peace and purposeful beauty. So in your home, I feel like there's minimalism with meaning. Every object tells a story or serves a function in some way, right? There's no clutter, there's lots of light. Your space is designed to think clearly. You're not afraid of being alone or having solitude, because this home is your castle of sovereignty. So some real life examples here, maybe you have like neutral toned interiors with very like high contrast accents, right? Like black and white or like navy and gold. Maybe some of you here have like an antique writing desk or a clean workspace or a very large open windows in your home. I can also see some of you having like a framed quote like in the hallway, you know, whatever it is that like vibes with you. Like for example, it could be like, I'm allowed to outgrow people and places, and it's like in your workspace, you know, or whatever it is. Maybe like in your living room, there's a plaque above the TV and it says our sanctuary or whatever it is, right? There's some sort of like there's words, you communicate things in your design. I also feel like the design is sharp, but it's comforting, you know? So like the colors are cool, they're airy, they're honest. I feel like I can see like linen whites or like icy blues or charcoal grays, right? Silvers, intertwined with like meaningful accents, right? Like the natural woods and woven baskets and vintage art. There's this emphasis on clarity and truthful beauty, not opulence for show. It can also smell like coffee in the workspace too. I don't know if some of you like coffee, like drinking coffee. Maybe some of you like the smell of it. If you don't, you take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I just wanted to point that out there. That came through very strongly. Now, I also feel like in terms of textures, I can see like smooth marble countertops, like crisp cotton bedding, woven wool rugs, you know, brushed metal fixtures, maybe clear glass and mirrors that reflect light and intention. Again, back to the smells, like it smells like rosemary. I can see you like in the kitchen making like rosemary sourdough bread. I know that's so specific, but hey, I just spit out what I'm hearing, so I just feel like, yeah, it's very relaxing. I smell like lavender, even like the smell of like fresh sea air, whether that's like natural, like maybe you do live by the ocean and it just is coming in, or maybe it's like some sort of diffuser or like, you know, scent in the home that smells like that. In terms of sounds, it's very, again, it's like soft jazz, wind, like pages turning in a book. Everything is just placed so intentionally, and I feel like you just cut away excess here, just like the Queen of Swords. Every corner whispers you are safe to want more, and that healing abundance is starting from within. We also have Bountiful. This one says healing a scarcity mindset. This is beautiful. So this is enoughness. This is grounded abundance. This is simple luxury. I feel like you're going to be healing the wound of not having enough, right? Like, this is you reminding yourself that you are already rich in so many different ways, right? And so your home is going to reflect comfort and resourcefulness and this quiet opulence that's very much rooted in self-worth. So maybe in the home you don't over-decorate, right? Everything is nourishing and comforting and useful. Maybe you create richness through experience, right? Like cozy beds or nourishing food or meaningful conversations around your kitchen island, right? Maybe you have an open pantry with glass jars and they're filled with grains and nuts and tea, you know, like a modern day hearth is what I'm feeling. Or maybe some of you here have like high quality bed sheets or a luxurious throw blanket or a perfectly made latte on your porch. Maybe some of you here have a fireplace or an herb garden or a wellness station because your wealth means feeling nourished, right? So let's talk about your favorite room. Let's talk about how you spend time there, right? Which room is most important to your future self? What do you do there? And what kind of energy do you cultivate here? So we have the King of Sticks here. This is the King of Wands. This is creative leadership. It's inspired action. It's embodiment. This is where you own your throne, right? This represents the room where you lead from, a space where your higher self shows up and gets to work. So in your home, your power room is where you create or film or channel or manifest. I feel like this room reflects your fire and your passion and your self-expression. There's this boldness here, right? Maybe vibrant color or large art or magical tools. I feel like maybe some of you here have a favorite room in your house that's like a podcast studio or a content creation corner with a mic and lights and like an inspiration board. Maybe some of you here have a bold red chair or like a gold frame mirror that makes you feel royal. Maybe you have a corner with vision boards or altar candles or tools of leadership in some way. We also have moon magic. This one says transformation. So this represents cycles, things like ritual, change, that sacred feminine energy. This is the transformational heart of your home. This is where you shed skins and where you evolve. It's very deeply personal, Pile 1, and it's where you do most of your intimate inner work. So this is the womb of your home, is what I'm feeling. This is your meditation space or your moon ritual corner or your dream nook. This is a space where you feel seen by yourself, where you return to yourself. So again, maybe you have a small altar with candles and moon phase cards and crystals and water, right? Maybe you have a reading nook with blackout curtains and lunar artwork. Maybe you journal here during new moons, or you release things during full moons, or maybe this is just a place where you can cry and chant without judgment. I keep hearing like sacred studio sanctuary, right? So maybe this is like a converted sunroom or loft or something that's glowing with candlelight or moonlight or kind of like filtered golden rays depending on the hour. But this is where your most empowered magnetic self comes to play. You write and you channel and you film and you pull cards or meditate or teach or dream here. I feel like it's filled with books and dried herbs and plush cushions and magical tools and art in progress. I just have a big smile on my face because this literally, like, it sounds like my office where I create content for my YouTube channel and my podcast and my online brand. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I could show you. I wish I could like take the camera off and pan it around and show you. It is very much that. But I just feel like the walls of the sacred studio for you, Pile 1, it carries spells of confidence and the air holds your creative fire, right? This is your command center. This is where you lead from. I feel like there could be like a ceremonial mirror that you stand in front of often, not to inspect, but to witness yourself evolving, right? Maybe this is you doing mirror work as well. This room is dedicated to your transformation, Pile 1. So I feel like you don't just change here, but you choose what kind of leader or healer or muse you want to be. Now let's dive into the purpose of your home, right? Why did you choose it? How does this home support your wealth or your purpose or your peace? And what part of your identity or your inner child is most nourished here? So we have the Seven of Vessels in reverse. This is the Seven of Cups in reverse. So this represents clarity, things like decision making, releasing illusions. So this card shows that you're no longer seduced by fantasy or indecision, pile one. You've chosen a path. This home reflects deep clarity, right? It's almost like this departure from overwhelm. I just feel like in your home, every room has a purpose, right? There's no random stuff. There's no maybe someday energy. You said no to dream homes that weren't aligned for you, and this one is real. So you let go of like the Pinterest perfection. You chose peace over prestige, right? Maybe the kitchen is small, but the backyard is a dream. I feel like you've been through some sort of decluttering journey that led you here. So I feel like this physical and emotional purge gave you this clarity. We also have flares, the unexpected. So yeah, I feel like this is like surprise or divine detours or intuition-led decisions. Like she just looks like she's full of fire. She looks surprised too, full of magic. So to me, I feel like this represents serendipity. Like you didn't just find this home, but it found you. I feel like it was a flare from the universe saying this way, right? So in your home, there's something unexpected that brings daily joy, right? Like maybe some of you here live on like 20 acres and you live near a creek, and every day you just get to live your dream of homesteading and raising your babies in nature, right? Like that's just one example. I feel like you may have discovered this home in an unplanned way, like a friend's suggestion or a random scroll, or like maybe you were like riding your bike down a dirt road and you noticed like an open house and you just stopped by. I just feel like it was like a whisper from spirit. Like maybe you stopped by, you saw the home, and it was like you toured it just for fun and you ended up putting in an offer that night, right? Like you had to have it. Or there was a sunroom that you didn't know you needed and it's now your favorite space. Or maybe there was like a surprise discount or inheritance or financial windfall that made it possible for you. Maybe there was like, sorry, I'm hearing like, maybe like you have an uncle like that passed away and then he left you a bunch of money and, or left you a house or something, right? That's for a specific some of you. But I feel like maybe some of you, yeah, I can totally see it. Like some of you might have like a tiny hallway mirror that reflects rainbows across the room at sunset. Like just shows you like daily reminders of magic. You have such a vibey space, pile one. So this home, I feel like it grounds your visionary spirit. After years of feeling overwhelmed by too many choices or living in survival mode, I feel like this is the space that became the clarifier for you, right? It became your anchor. I feel like it reflects your decision to stop chasing illusions and embody what's real and rich to you, right? Not to others. And I feel like it was chosen not because it was perfect or brand new, right? But it surprised you. Like maybe the timing was wild and the location was unexpected, but the land had a story. Maybe your inner child felt it immediately, right? Maybe you felt like this is where I'll make my own rules. So here, you're no longer scattering your energy, you're nurturing your peace, your play, and your possibility. So I want to roll some number dice. I usually like to roll astro dice, but my youngest was playing with it, and so we are in the process of locating them again. But I've got some really cool number dice for you here, and we're going to pull some messages from our Angel Numbers book by Mystic Michaela. Love this book, love her. I will link this book in the description for you if you feel called, but let's find out more about what pile one needs to know. What else does pile one need to know? Okay, so we have 110 or 101. So we'll read both, but we can start with 101. So this one says, mood matters. Any feeling is a good one. It's normal to want to feel happy all the time, but that's not realistic. Your angels are giving you assurance that all your emotions, no matter what they are important. Emotions are meant to be explored and learned from. List 3 things that you have 3 times a day for the next 3 days. Do not judge yourself or try to shift these feelings. Simply explore them. Wow. So I also feel like this is a message to like trust your gut, trust your feeling when you're kind of on this quest to find your new home, right? And it's almost like, again, what I got from your reading is that it's not something that you like spun your wheels to like go find. It's like a destiny, serendipity was involved. So it's like you're gonna come across your dream home no matter what, because you were meant to. But I feel like it's important for you to trust your gut when you go and tour different homes. Trust how you feel, because that matters. And then we're also going to get messages from 110. Okay, so it says, it's personal. Your journey is unique. It's easy to look around and be distracted by others' personal journeys and endeavors in life. But today, the angels call on you to focus only on your own. Comparing your path to the paths of others is not the way forward. Today, take a moment to meditate on your own personal path to the divine and in what ways you've grown along the way. I love it. So what I'm getting from this is it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. It's personal, right? Your journey is unique. And so kind of like put your blinders on. Focus on what you love. We're not playing by anybody else's rules. I keep hearing like trailblazer. You were meant to pave your own path, pile 1. So yes. Thank you so much, Pile 1. I hope that you loved exploring your future dream home today. If this vision lit something up inside of you, I have more pick a card readings on manifesting your rich life, your dream career, home, and money breakthroughs, and your next level self on my channel, Tidal Tarot, so be sure to check my channel page out. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, friends. And drop a comment if you're claiming this version of your life. Tell me what resonates. Tell me what you're most excited about. You know, I love connecting with you all in the comments. I'll see you on the next video. Lots of love. Bye, Pile 1. Hey, Pile 2. Hey, friends. Let's get some first impressions. Let's talk about the entrance of your future dream home, and let's talk about the energy, right? So what is the first thing that people feel when they walk in? What does it look like? And what kind of neighborhood or land surrounds the home? So we have Justice in reverse here, and this says Big Bend National Park. So I just want to point out that maybe some of you have a future dream home that is near Big Bend National Park, maybe kind of looks like it in terms of like the climate or the land, or maybe it's in like the same state as Big Bend National Park, or kind of like within close proximity, like surrounding states. But this represents rebalancing from chaos. It represents from stepping out of old roles or karmic loops. So I feel like you didn't go for like perfection, and that's why it's powerful. It symbolizes your choice to stop living in spaces that feel performative or harsh or conditional, right? It's this correctional space for the soul. Maybe you have a front door that's painted in an unexpected color, right? Like deep teal or ochre, right? As a declaration of your own path. Maybe you have a shoes off, masks off kind of energy, right? So guests know that they can be real here. Maybe there's a small sign or an altar near the entrance acknowledging the journey of breaking free from unfair systems, like here we return to ourselves, you know, something like that. We also have Awaz, and so this is movement, it's trust, it's partnership, it's transitions. So the vibe of your home is a home that came to you when you moved in alignment with trust. It's also a portal. It's a place where you support others and yourself in transitions. So maybe you have a home that has an entrance that may have a mirror symbolizing reflection and movement between worlds. Maybe the layout may flow naturally, right? Maybe you have hallways that invite exploration, or an entryway that's wide and warm. I feel like there's like this mobility in life vibe here, right? So like maybe you moved cross country, or you downsized to align with your values, or you somehow like intentionally shift into a different pace of life. I feel like when people walk in, there's a stillness here, and not because it's silent, but because it has been made right, and not by the world, but by you. So this is a space that whispers, you're safe now, right? You don't have to prove anything. And with Justice in reverse, this is not a house that was earned through perfectionism or people pleasing or playing by unfair rules. It was chosen because you reclaimed your right to peace. There's an energy of deep calibration, a righting of old wrongs. This is the rune of trust, right? It's like this person is trusting that this person will pull them up the mountain. So it's also a rune of movement. And so it tells me that you didn't find this home by logic, it was called to you, and it showed up when you trusted your own path. Now, in terms of like the neighborhood or the location of your dream home, I feel like it's tucked away on a bend in the road. Like it's not hidden, but it's protected. So maybe it's in like a slow neighborhood where you can wave at your neighbors or disappear into the woods. I feel like you're surrounded by nature, like tall trees, wild grasses. I feel like the wind, it's a very powerful wind that like I keep hearing it speaks in full sentences. Maybe some of you here are going to be nestled in more of like a, if that's not your vibe, then I'm feeling like some of you here could be nestled in more of like a magical urban pocket, right? Like an artist street or like a quiet alley of soulful creatives. In terms of like the layout and the style of your home, I feel like it's like bohemian meets healing cottage, right? So like natural woods, curved shapes, stone, maybe some stained glass going on. I feel like it's probably like a 3-bed, 2-bath, right? One room for you, one for like rest or guest, and one for creative flow. Maybe if you have children, right? It could be something like that. But I feel like it's a place where you take your shoes off at the door and then you immediately feel your nervous system soften, right? Maybe there's like a coat rack and a hook with a small hanging charm or a rune, very much like intentional threshold energy. Maybe there's some sort of framed piece of art by your younger self or a poem about second chances, right? Something like that. Now, in terms of the interior design, right? What sort of colors are in the space? What sort of textures, right? What sort of furniture? What sort of features are present? How does it smell? How does it sound? How does it feel to the touch? We have the 4 of Blades in reverse. This is the 4 of Swords in reverse. So this is awakening from stillness. This is a rebirth of your nervous system. So I feel like the energy in your home is tender, but it's active. You're not hiding anymore. You're emerging from a healing cocoon and you're inviting others into your space on your terms. So maybe some of you here have a cozy reading nook that used to only be yours, but now it has an extra chair and a second cup. Or maybe the lighting is soft but intentional in your homes. Maybe it's lamps and light strings and sunlight through linen curtains. It's just gorgeous, pile 2. I feel like it smells like incense or like freshly baked bread or like herbs or like rosemary, right? It's very comforting, but it's alert. We also have belonging. This one says healing and community. So this, yeah, is community. It's chosen family. It's letting people in without self-abandonment. This space invites people to exhale. It's where you feel both held and seen here. And you don't lose yourself to others, but you meet others as your full self. So maybe some of you here have a circular kitchen table where everyone feels equal and heard. Maybe some of you here have a guest room or a corner with loving touches, right? Like a robe or books or a diffuser. Maybe some of you here have some sort of like community altar or bookshelf or a living room that's dedicated to gathering. So I feel like it's not just a space for you to rest, but it's a space for you to recover and return and remember who you are. I feel like there's this energy of like re-entry. You've healed in solitude, and so now you're creating a home that holds others too. I feel like belonging here reminds us that this space is a hearth. People don't just visit, they soften, they stay. And I keep hearing people saying like, I didn't know how tired I was until I sat down and like replenished myself here. So in terms of colors, maybe it's like soft sage green, like terracotta, creamy white. I see like blush pinks, maybe hints of indigo, maybe rust, again, ochre in the art or like in the textiles. I feel very much like warm undertones everywhere. This is a color story of homecoming for you, pile 2. I also am seeing like linen curtains that are moving with the breeze, maybe some vintage wooden chairs with hand-woven cushions, stone counters and handmade rugs. I see like a record player and soft speakers and maybe wind chimes near an open window. In terms of like the sensory details, right? I feel like it smells like cedar wood or chai or like, again, freshly baked bread. I can almost smell like this citrus zest as well. I don't know if some of you have citrus trees outside and you pick like your own lemons and you zest them into your meals. Like very, very, very vibey. Please invite me over for dinner, pile 2. Yes, it just sounds like a whole vibe. I feel like in terms of sound, I can hear like laughter just echoing down the hall, like maybe a kettle boiling, maybe some birds chirping outside. In terms of touch, like just imagine yourself being barefoot on soft woven rugs, and maybe you have a sheepskin throw, right? Faux sheepskin, because protect the animals. Maybe you have like textured wall art, right? Maybe you have a wall with Polaroids, or you film photos of guests or mentors and movements. Maybe you have shelves of tea jars or matcha bowls and ancestral cookbooks. Maybe there's a handwritten sign over the door that says you belong here. Now let's talk about your favorite room. Let's talk about how you spend time there. Let's talk about which room is most important to your rich self. What do you do there? What energy do you cultivate there? We have the Page of Blades in reverse here. So this represents your inner voice, getting this retreat from external noise. It can also talk about personal inquiry. So I feel like this is the room where you shut the world out and you let your thoughts flow without filters. You don't need answers here. You just need space to think and feel and imagine. So maybe some of you here have a writing desk with notebooks that are full of half-formed ideas and epiphanies. Or maybe some of you here have a music corner or a podcast setup or a digital journal station, right? Maybe you often are on the ground laying at the ceiling, right? Pulling cards, whispering affirmations. We also have Day Moon. This one says love. So this is like gentle illumination, pile 2. This to me represents love in quiet places. It's very feminine in terms of energy. This space doesn't scream, pile 2. It glows. It's where your inner lover, child, and mystic cohabitate. There's beauty in the subtle here, pile 2, so maybe there's crystals on the windowsill catching the light. Maybe there's love notes to yourself or your kids or your partner tucked into drawers or pinned onto vision boards, right, or onto the fridge. Maybe there's a soft playlist of healing tones or R&B or nostalgic soundtracks just playing in the background. I keep hearing that song Old Man by Neil Young. Maybe there's a message for you in there, or maybe that's just like a song that's going to be playing in the background. Like I can see some of you tidying your home on a Saturday or a Sunday and just having a diffuser on and having vibes going, and like I can hear Old Man by Neil Young, that song playing in the background. But yeah, I feel like this is the most sacred room for you in your house. It's the place where you go to think out loud. It's a place that says that you don't need an audience, right? Like this is your inner dialogue space. This is your mental or emotional reset room. I feel like this Day Moon card here, it adds this extra layer of dreaminess and this inner love. You allow yourself to explore curiosity without pressure to perform, right? There's no need to know the answer. You just explore. So I feel like the activities or the energy in this favorite room of yours, maybe you're going to be reading poetry or psychology books. Again, I see you again, like journaling in half-finished notebooks, or like pulling tarot cards, or voice memoing downloads. Maybe even rewatching comfort shows from childhood, or like reparenting through creative play in some way. Maybe some of you here have like a low floor table with candles, or your favorite mug, your favorite tarot decks, maybe string lights, or kind of like this soft overhead glow. Maybe hanging plants, maybe a drawer of favorite pens or headphones or love letters that you wrote to yourself. Maybe this is a mirror where you practice speaking your truth. So let's talk about the purpose of your home. Let's talk about why you chose it. Let's talk about how this home supports your wealth, your purpose, and your peace. What part of your identity or your inner child is most nourished here, pile 2. We have the Ace of Stones. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning in the material realm. This is a fresh, grounded chapter. This isn't just shelter, it's soil, and you're planting your future here, pile 2. So it's really going to be this foundation for wealth, for wellness, and for things like sovereignty. Maybe some of you here started a business or a creative practice here. Like, that's totally my story, right? Like I have, again, like this, oh, maybe I mentioned in pile 1, but I do have this like office studio, a creative studio where I film all my YouTube content, and I have my podcast content that I, record in here, and it's filled with personal development books and spiritual books, and there's fairy lights, and there's candles and tarot decks and oracle cards and incense and just so much cute, beautiful, like spiritual things, right? So I feel like maybe this is a place for you to finally cultivate like that brand or that business or that creative pursuit that you've always wanted to go after. Maybe you have a garden outside, even like a small one, maybe like one on a balcony or even on a kitchen ledge. But I feel like this is where you truly began saving money or like raising children or healing your body or saying yes to purpose aligned work. We also have Sol. So this is sunlight, this is joy, this is open-hearted hospitality. This home radiates, you made it. Sol is a Baltic sun goddess who welcomes the light of a new day. So you chose this home because you needed to feel welcomed into your own life. Maybe you have a bright entry with affirmations or artwork or smiling faces. Maybe you have a habit of greeting each day at a specific window or porch spot. I feel like you might host gatherings or brunches or moon circles, not for show, but out of genuine joy. So I feel like this is the beginning of a new timeline for you. This home is the first seed in a garden that will last generations, right? So it represents solid sacred ground. It represents a place where abundance is invited in and not chased. I feel like your home is just wrapped in warmth, and this home doesn't just support your goals, but it celebrates them, right? So you wake up in love with life here. So this home gives you this container for your dreams to take form, pile 2. It gives you this resting place after years of hustle or trauma or drama too, right? I think it gives you this safe space to start a business or build wealth and really soften into your feminine, right? So maybe you have a kitchen where your ancestors whisper, yes, this is the one. So I feel like maybe you have a porch where you do your morning abundance meditation. Maybe you have a garden where you plant in moon cycles, now blooming with lavender and lemons or whatever it is that you want to fill your garden with. Maybe you have a bedroom where you can finally sleep deeply and wake up excited, right? Maybe you have a door that's always open to aligned souls and fresh beginnings. So I want to roll some number dice. Let's find out more about what you need to know. Pile 2. Okay, so we have 27, we have 27, or we have 72. So let's get 27 first from our Angel Numbers book. I will link this for you in the description if you feel called. It's by Mystic Michaela. It's an Angel Numbers book. Fabulous. So this one says life plan. Align your life plan with your soul plan. Your angels want you to reflect and consider deeply what it is you want in life versus what you think you should do. Create alone time for yourself today without people or technology. Ask yourself what you want and free write about it in a journal without judgment. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I feel like this could be a call for you to get clear, get very, very clear on what you want, right? Like if you want a life where you work from home, you work remotely, you're your own boss, maybe you feel like, you know what, I really want to homeschool my kids, I want to live on a homestead, I want to farm, like whatever it is, right? Just get very, very clear on what you want to do, because I feel like once you get clear, it's that much more easy for you to attract and magnetize what it is that you want to manifest and experience in this lifetime. Let's also get 72. Okay, so this one says quality. Align your life to your soul. You are being asked to align your life in a way that authentically reflects your soul. The desires you have are perhaps simpler than the life you lead. What can you do today to facilitate quality in all of your environments and relationships rather than quantity? Ooh, interesting. I don't know why I got like a strong feeling like who do you need to cut out, or what do you need to cut out of your life to align more with like living a life of quality to you, right? So sometimes we have to like, I don't want to say like cut the fat, but we have to let go of like the baggage or the dead weight that we've been carrying, right? Like not everything and everyone can come with us into this new life. And so, for example, if you want to stop drinking, but you keep hanging out with the same group of people that are like heavy drinkers, then nothing will change, right? Or if you want to be a YouTuber, but you never film that first video, then nothing will change, right? So what is it that you have to do to really align yourself with the life that you want is what I'm feeling to share. So Yes, thank you so much, pile 2. I hope that you had fun with this reading. I hope you loved exploring your future dream home today. If this vision lit something up in you, I have more pick a card readings on manifesting your rich life, your dream career, home, money breakthroughs, and your next level self on my channel, titled Tarot. Be sure to check my channel page out. Please give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, friends. And drop a comment if you're claiming this version of your life, and tell me what resonates or what you're most excited about. You guys know that I love connecting with you all in the comments. I will see you on the next video. Lots of love. Bye, pile 2. Hey, pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's dive into first impressions. Let's talk about the entrance and the energy. Let's talk about the first thing that people feel when they walk in. What does your home look like? And what kind of neighborhood or land surrounds the home? So we have the 3 of Stones here. This is the 3 of Pentacles. So this is collaboration. It talks about craftsmanship, this purpose-driven creation. So I feel like this is a home that's built with intention, possibly through teamwork. So maybe there was some sort of like partnership with artisans or friends or family who helped you co-create your vision. There's very much this strong energy of everyone has a role, even if you design the space yourself. So maybe you hired local creators or supported small businesses for decor. Or maybe your home was built or chosen during a phase of working with a coach or a therapist or a spiritual collaborator. Maybe some of you here have a unique architectural detail that says, this was made for me. We also have Gebo here, and so this represents like a gift or balancing and giving and receiving, right? It talks about sacred exchange. So this space is a gift, not just from the universe, but one that invites reciprocity. You'll likely feel deeply grateful to be here and also feel called to share it, whether that's through hospitality or wisdom or healing. Like maybe some of you here are going to host moon circles or dinners or healing sessions in your living room. There's this threshold energy here. People step in and say, wow, like I really do feel held here. So I feel like maybe you have symbolic artwork in the foyer or foyer that represents harmony and balance and sacred generosity. I feel like when people walk in, there's a grounded communal energy here. A sense that everything is intentionally created, but also co-created. And this home feels like a shared blessing, not in the sense that others built it for you, but that your life became easier the moment that you stopped doing it all alone. Now, the 3 of Pentacles speaks of collaboration and skill and divine teamwork, and Gebo, again, means gift and symbolizes equal energy exchange. So I feel like your home radiates this energy of like, we're better together, or your presence is a contribution, or every piece of this place has a story, right? So let's talk about the neighborhood or the land. I feel like you're gonna live in this close-knit but soulful community, a place where neighbors will wave and like have conversations with you and actually look you in the eye, right? Maybe you could be near a community garden or like a healing center or a nature reserve. I feel like there's evidence of other makers, right? So like murals or shared spaces or little libraries, right? I feel like the land hums with ancestral work and these future forward dreams. So maybe you have a front walkway that's lined with stones you and your friends gather together. Maybe some of you here have local artist work hung in the entryway. Maybe your contractor left a blessing behind a light switch or a floorboard. Maybe your guests say, I feel like I belong here, even if it's not mine. We also have the Knight of Sticks. This is the Knight of Wands. I feel like your space feels restless or maybe like unfinished or like bursts of inspiration, right? So maybe you have bold colors or eclectic pieces that clash, right? Maybe there's like this creative energy, right? But it feels like very much like an artistic like scattering of sorts, you know? Like maybe there's like incense burning and it smells like incense mid-burn, you know? Or there's background noise that you forgot to turn off, or like textures that range from soft throws to surfaces like that have your collection of something, right? In terms of colors, I feel like you probably have like a bold accent wall, right? Like a fiery red or like a mustard. Maybe you have like random mixes of color palettes, right? Like boho pillows or modern art or pastel throws. Maybe there's like bright paint choices. I also feel like you probably have some big statement pieces for like furniture. So like maybe a velvet couch that you bought on a whim that like doesn't necessarily match anything else, right? Like maybe there's an eclectic vibe going on here. Maybe there's some sort of like DIY project, right? Like a headboard or a cabinet door that you worked on, right? Maybe you have like a bar cart as decor, but there's like no actual function to it or something like that, right? Like maybe in terms of smells or scents, I feel like it smells like incense or Palo Santo or candles that are burning. I feel like there's this kind of like lingering scent of creativity, right? Like paint or sage or maybe even coffee. In terms of sound, I feel like I can hear like a playlist left running in another room, or like you like listening to a podcast, or like slight buzzing or ambient noise, right? So yeah, and then in terms of like touch or like textures, maybe you have like fuzzy rugs on it, or maybe you have fuzzy rugs and you also have like a beautiful throw blanket, and then maybe you also have like smooth leather next to like rattan, right? Like it's just very eclectic and very just things that light you up, right? We also have boundary cloak. This one says gentle, loving protection. So this is like a home that feels very expressive. It feels open. It has invisible shields. I feel like you've curated it with clear intentions. It's warm but not penetrable by just anyone, right? Only those who respect your peace are welcomed here. I feel like you may have protective symbols by the door, maybe black tourmaline or mirrors or salt bowls. I feel like there's also soft but structured spaces, so like canopy beds or cozy reading corners with partitions or veils. I also feel like there's like a visible or spiritual boundary practice, like ringing bells or sweeping energy or placing charms in your home strategically. Now, the vibe of the space, I feel like the home is bold, it's inspired, it's full of spiritual fire, and that fire is like represented in this very cozy hearth of your home, right? So there's passion, there's movement, there's charm. It's very creative again, it's very expressive, but it's safe. Maybe the colors again are like deep ruby or ochre or amber or plum, right? Maybe there's pops of burnt orange or midnight blue or metallic gold. I feel like it's like a desert at sunset meets the warmth of your favorite scarf. I feel like in terms of furniture and features, like velvet, hand-carved wood, textiles from your travels, maybe Moroccan poufs, maybe Art Deco mirrors, or like meaningful clutter. I don't want to say like clutter, but that's just like the way it's coming through. Maybe there's some sort of like gallery wall that tells a story, like everything's placed with heart. I can almost smell like sandalwood or like citrus peel or dried herbs drying too. Again, the sound like chimes, maybe jazz music playing in the background, maybe the muffled hum of creative work. There's a lot of creating going on, a lot of artistry here. Maybe to the touch, there's like warm coffee mugs, right? Warm tea mugs. The floors feel warm, right? The sun warmed them up. There's this softness of aged leather or suede. Man, again, pile 3, I'm feeling that velvet couch, right? Maybe a velvet couch with like bold pillows or a protective throw. Maybe doors that click shut like boundaries, right? Curtains that close like cloaks. I feel like there's an altar near the door or the back door that like blesses and clears energy daily as well. Now let's talk about your favorite room. Let's talk about how you spend time here. What room is most important to your wealthiest self? What do you do there? What energy do you cultivate here? So we have the 8 of Vessels in reverse here. This is the 8 of Cups in reverse. So this represents returning to the self. It represents emotional reclamation. It can also talk about unfinished emotional business. So this is a soul room. It's not where you just rest, but it's where you return. Maybe you've once walked away from parts of yourself, right? Like your creativity or your truth or your grief. And in this room, you reclaim them. So maybe this is a place where you can cry or journal or find clarity here. Maybe this is a bedroom or a bath or a spiritual nook. I feel like you've decorated this space with symbols of the past chapters, right? Whether this is photos or altars or old journals. I also feel like some of you here are pulling tarot here, like letting emotions resurface gently without shame. We also have dark moon, clear energy. We've been talking a lot about clearing your energy in this space. So this is releasing, it's energetic detox. It's like the emptiness before renewal, right? So your home is where you clear what's not yours, right? Energetically, emotionally, mentally. The room is like a dark womb. It's soft, it's quiet, and it's built for energetic rebirth. So maybe you close the blinds or you go screen-free here. Maybe you smudge or you use sound bowls or light only black candles in this room. There's just so much sensory things here, right? It's touch-friendly textures, it's few distractions, it's a space dedicated to energetic clearing rituals like cord cutting or EFT or meditation. So this room is your retreat and your realignment chamber, pile 3. This is your refusal to abandon yourself again, right? You've walked away from so much and now you walk back to you. This space is where you reconnect, feel your feelings, and shed any energetic debris. And the dark moon supports you in this process, right? It's the void, it's the space before rebirth. You don't rush in this room. You digest and you reemerge. So I definitely feel like you do a lot of spiritual hygiene here, maybe baths, cleansing rituals, tarot, prayer. Maybe you do journaling and grief work. Maybe you nap with crystals under your pillow, right? Maybe there's like emotional integration going on here. Like, how do I really feel? I feel like there's salt lamps, blackout curtains, obsidian, smoky quartz nearby. Maybe there's like a bathroom-like spa, eucalyptus bundles, oil, soft towels, right? Maybe some of you here have implemented like a no talking rule when the door is closed while you reclaim silence as sacred. You cleanse the room with sound bowls and Palo Santo and moon water. I just feel like it's very, very sacred here. So let's talk about the purpose of this home. Why did you choose it? And how does this home support your wealth, your purpose, and your peace? What part of your identity or inner child is most nourished here? So we have Judgment. This says Grand Canyon National Park. So I just want to point out, maybe some of you here are going to live near Grand Canyon National Park, or maybe some of you are going to be in the same state that Grand Canyon National Park is in, or maybe like some of the surrounding states, but maybe not. I just like to point out what I see here for those of you who that resonates with. But this represents awakening, it represents rebirth. It also talks about hearing the call, even like this spiritual reckoning. So this home is where you finally woke up, pile 3. It's the answer to a soul level call that you didn't even know you were making. You felt it in your body and it aligned with your destiny. So you may have seen this home in a dream or journaled about it long before it ever appeared, right? So I feel like when you walked in for the first time, it almost felt like deja vu or like a deep emotional release. And the energy of the home feels like standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, right? You're small, but everything makes sense. We also have Aurora. This says beginnings. I just feel like your home is going to be beautiful, ethereal even, pile 3. But this represents first light, gentle starts, you know, the promise of something new. Your home is going to be a portal of soft rebirth. Your life shifted the moment that you crossed the threshold. This card brings energy of graceful awakening, right? Like the quiet before joy or the inhale before transformation. I feel like when you get here, you're going to take a very big exhale. Maybe you moved in here during a powerful life transition, right? Like a divorce or motherhood or a career rebirth, right? Maybe your morning rituals here feel sacred, like tea by the window or stretching in the sunlight, or the home contains symbols of hope and renewal, right? I feel like there's sun catchers and prayer flags and baby photos and fresh flowers. So I feel like this is not just a home, this is your awakening site. I feel like you were summoned to this place, like your inner voice finally found room to answer back. I feel like this is going to be a soft but powerful beginning, and like dawn light warming a cold world, this house is going to let you begin again without erasing what came before. So this is a place where you can honor your past selves without being haunted by them, right? This is a place where you can clearly listen to your callings and answer without guilt. It gives you permission to rise. You moved here not just to live, but to return to life, pile 3. So maybe you have a wall of handwritten letters to yourself or your ancestors. Maybe you have an upstairs loft or deck where you watch the sunrise or the moon shift. Maybe there's some sort of open window where you heard your yes the first time you visited. Maybe there's some sort of bell or wind chime that sounds like a call to prayer or awakening. Let's roll some number dice. Let's find out more about what pile 3 needs to know. Okay, so we have 10 and 11. So let's get messages from 10 and 11. So 10, clear thinking, cleanse your thoughts. Angels are asking you to declutter your mind of things that are not necessary for your forward movement. Thoughts and emotions need to be productive or they can be problematic. Reflect on a repetitive thought or emotion you've been having. Ask yourself if this If this thought or emotion is necessary, kind, and productive. Okay. So what do you need to release? What do you need to cleanse in terms of your thinking, in terms of limiting beliefs? Is there anything that tells you that you can't be, do, or have the life or the dream home that you want? So maybe there's some shadow work to do around that. And then we also have the awakening. This one says, you are being called to attention. Your angels want to send you signs, but first they need to make sure you're paying attention. This number asks you to notice the world around you so you don't miss the important messages coming your way. Ask your angels for confirmation after you see this number. Repetition is their way of getting your attention. So what angel numbers have you been seeing, pile 3? Or maybe you're going to be seeing angel numbers, but I encourage you to pay attention to what you're thinking about at the moment that you see the angel number, and if not, then just go ahead and look up what the angel number looks like. A quick Google search will always do, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So I hope you enjoyed exploring your future dream home today. If this vision lit something up inside of you, I have lots more pick a card readings on manifesting your rich life, your dream career, your home, money breakthroughs, and your next level self on my channel titled Tarot. So be sure to check my channel page out. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, friends. Drop a comment if you're claiming this version of your life, and tell me what resonates or what you're most excited about. You know I love connecting with you all in the comments. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Lots of love. See you later, pile 3. Hey, pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. Let's get some first impressions. Let's talk about the entrance and the energy of your future home. Let's talk about the first thing that people feel when they walk in. What does it look like? And what sort of neighborhood or land surrounds the home? So we have the Knight of Stones. This is the Knight of Pentacles. This is reliability, it's patience, it's slow and steady success, it's groundedness. This home immediately communicates safety and stability. It feels like a space that took time, energy, and long-term vision to build. It's not flashy, it's deeply intentional. You don't feel rushed here, so visitors may immediately relax, sensing that it's this place of enduring values and real substance, right? So maybe you have some sort of tidy front yard with a vegetable garden or fruit trees, right? Maybe it's some sort of handcrafted element at the front entrance, like a wooden bench or an artisan tile. Maybe it's earth tone doormats or warm lighting or solid doors that really seal in your presence. We also have Fehu. So this is prosperity, it's earned abundance, it's nourishment, it's also fertile beginnings. This is not just about money, but it's about energy invested that pays off, right? So this is wealth that was cultivated over time and it continues to grow. Your home is this living altar to your values, pile 4, and your effort and the good that you've received and shared. So this is a home that's paid off, right? Or you're on a long-term path to that goal. It's a space for you to host others and give back, like teaching or healing or food sharing. Maybe there's sacred heirlooms passed down or investments that are finally bearing fruit. When people walk in, I feel like there's this immediate sense of stability or success or intention. The energy is earthy, it's grounded, it's rooted. I feel like you can feel that this isn't just a home that happened by accident, but it's a result of long-term dedication and slow, consistent growth. The Knight of Pentacles is a symbol of loyalty and hard work and showing up every day. This is tangible wealth, prosperity, and abundance that has been earned and is now being tended like a flame. So I feel like what your home looks like, I feel like you have manicured gardens, maybe like stacked stone or like weathered wood. I feel like you have a very clean, minimal front walkway, nothing flashy, but everything's well placed. And there's this sense of legacy, like this is a home that will stay in the family. In terms of the neighborhood or land, I feel like this is like a subtle, affluent, rural area, like a forest edge or like something with open fields. It could be farmland turned into some sort of like intentional living community. I feel like neighbors are like the salt of the earth types, right? Loyal and private and supportive. Maybe some of you here have a handcrafted wooden welcome sign or an heirloom wind chime or a porch where people take their shoes off out of respect. Maybe even a working garden or a greenhouse or an orchard out back. I feel like people say, I feel calm here, right? Like time slows down. Let's talk about the interior design, the colors, the textures, the vibes. So what colors are in your space? What kinds of furniture and features are present? How does it smell? How does it sound? And how does it feel to the touch? So we have the Lovers here, and it says Niagara Falls State Park. I don't know if some of you here are going to be living near Niagara Falls State Park, or in the same state, or in the same country as Niagara Falls State Park, or somewhere in the surrounding area. Of course, that's not for everyone, but I do like to mention what I see here. But this represents sacred choices. It represents union and things like heart alignment. This is a space of intentional harmony between people and objects and nature and spirit, right? So everything that you keep in your home feels like a choice rooted in alignment with your values, relationships, or deeper purpose. So I feel like there's matching but meaningful furniture, right? Like a table where you share meals with loved ones. Maybe there's duality and balance in design, right? Soft and structured, light and shadow. I feel like there's a designated space for you and your partner, you and your children, or you and your loved ones or your pets to grow and reflect and connect. Now, with Niagara Falls energy, I feel like this symbolizes this forceful natural beauty. So your home may have this like powerful emotional charge, especially when shared, especially in shared spaces, and access to natural flow, you know, rivers, wind, views, those types of things. We also have grounding. This one says rooting in the power of your purpose. So this is stability, intention, and slow embodiment. Your home helps you drop into your body and come back to what matters. It's the container for your rituals, your routines, and your work, and the foundation for your creativity and your leadership. So maybe some of you here have a standing desk near a window for clarity and presence. Maybe you have floors you walk barefoot on. Maybe with grounding rugs or mats. Maybe you have a design that reduces stimulation so that you can listen inward and act outward. I feel like the interior is devotional, and every item is chosen because it connects you to your values, your path, and your partner, or your body, or your source. Sorry if you hear tap tap tapping in the background, that's just my dog. He's always here for the readings. But yeah, the Lovers just speaks to sacred choices and the spiritual union. So grounding reinforces a space that helps you feel anchored in your mission and your real self. So in terms of colors, I feel like earth tones with romantic accents, maybe deep greens, muted gold, terracotta, stone. I feel like you're going to be using natural materials, things like linen, wood, stone, things like wool. I feel like flowing curtains, right, like smooth river rock or leather-bound books. In terms of the smell and the sound and the feel, I can smell like firewood or like herbal oils like vetiver or frankincense or lavender, very much earthy incense. And then the sound, again, I hear flowing water. I don't know if some of you here are going to live near a place with water, like a lake, a creek, the ocean, a stream. I also hear soft music and wind chimes and distant bird song. Maybe there's like raw textures, right? Woven throws, reclaimed wood, velvet chairs. My apologies. My dog is doing the most. Okay. So yeah, maybe some of you here have a couple's altar with vows or vision boards or shared symbols. Maybe some of you here have crystals near the entryway or grounding mats or barefoot only zones. Maybe you have a kitchen that's designed for connection and presence, right? Like maybe your meal times are sacred. So let's talk about your favorite room and how you're going to spend time there. Which room is going to be most important to your wealthiest self, and what do you do there, right? What energy do you cultivate here? We have the High Priestess in reverse here, and so it says Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. That could be another location that either like maybe you will live nearby or live within the same state or the surrounding area. Maybe this is just the energy at play here. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this represents releasing secrets. It talks about reflecting in private, maybe uncertainty or like repressed intuition. So this is your private sanctuary. This is where the most hidden parts of you are explored. When we have the High Priestess in reverse here, it invites you to unravel what you don't yet understand, right? Whether this is emotions or dreams or inner voices. So maybe you have some sort of ritual space or meditation corner you don't post online, right? Maybe there's journals or dream logs or divination tools that are hidden in a drawer. Maybe this is a place where you can cry and rest and heal yourself again, beyond identity and beyond noise. We also have Moonlit. It says embrace uncertainty. So this is you trusting in the unknown, pile 4. This is surrendering control, and this is using mystery as medicine, or this is seeing mystery as medicine. So this room is not meant for for productivity. It's for surrender. It's where you don't have to have answers. It's where you say, I don't know yet, and that's holy. So maybe some of you here have a blackout curtain room with layered textures and silence and safety. Maybe some of you here have a personal altar for devotion or grief or the unknowable. Maybe some of you here will have like low lighting or like ambient sound, like your mind relaxes and spirit just speaks, right? So the energy of this room is like, it's very much your mystery cave. It feels like a velvet veil between worlds, a space where you can unmask, unfilter, and unearth. Well, I just feel like it's this place where secrets are gently revealed, even to yourself. I feel like you don't plan, you just show up and you let the unknown move through you. This is where your intuition sharpens, but also where you allow yourself to process your emotions. So yes, let's talk about the purpose of this home. Let's talk about why you chose it and how this home supports your wealth, your purpose, and your peace. Let's talk about what part of your identity or your inner child is most nourished here. So we have the sun in reverse here, and this one says Acadia National Park. Again, that could be a geographic location that you live nearby or around, or maybe this is just the energy at play here. But this is personal joy. This is subtle warmth. This is unseen light or like quiet fulfillment. So usually when the sun is upright, it talks about public joy and external vitality. But when the sun is reversed, it can talk about inner light, right? So you didn't buy or build this home to show off. You did it to feel whole and safe and softly lit from within. Maybe some of you here have morning routines full of solitude and self-celebration. Maybe this is you stretching in sunlight or having tea on the porch. Maybe this is a home that feels good even if no one sees it, right? I feel like this is you having peace over performative joy. Maybe some of you here have a garden or a creative room where joy grows quietly, like a slow sunrise. We also have photosynthesis. This one says reciprocity. So this is giving and receiving energy. This is nurturing what nurtures you. So this card reminds you that this house gives back. You're not just a caretaker of it, it nourishes you too. You give it presence, you give it love, you give it care, and it returns the favor in vitality and creativity and rest. You water your plants and they fill the room with life, right? The more time that you spend in this home, the better you feel physically or emotionally. You might receive sudden insights or opportunities or healing simply by being in the space. So I feel like this home is going to give you this deep personal joy, this quiet vitality. Again, you chose this home not to be seen, but to feel whole. This is going to be a place where your inner child is nurtured through consistency, not chaos. You don't have to perform here. You just have to exist, and that's enough. That energy is going to be exchanged constantly, right? You give light, you receive light. You are supported here because you support yourself and the land. So maybe some of you here have a private garden or a window seat that's just for you, or a morning routine that involves receiving light, literally or symbolically. Maybe you'll have a back room where you display childhood mementos that remind you of joy. Maybe you have journals where you ask, where do I need to feel sunny again, right? What part of my life needs to feel bright again? Let's roll some number dice. Let's find out more about what Pile 4 needs to know. So we have we have 7, 10, and then 107 and 710. So let's get, I actually want to focus on 107 and 710. Okay, so this one says embrace fear. Get comfortable within. It's normal to have fears when it comes to completing your goals. Your angels want to befriend these feelings. In time, you'll see that they may not go away. While they may not go away, they don't have control over you. Write down your current fears and reflect on how to challenge them in small ways. Ooh, this is you moving outside of your comfort zone, right? This is you going bigger and expanding farther than what you originally dreamed or imagined, right? And then let's look at 710. And, oh, here we go. Okay, this one says examine carefully. Mistakes are our best teachers. It's okay to look back on the past even when it's not comfortable. Your angels ask you to think back to a lesson that is coming up again today and in a different form. In order to get past a current obstacle, you must learn the lesson it was meant to be. Journal about a problem you are having presently and how it connects to one from your past. Interesting. So what have you learned from your past, and what are the things that you're not going to be carrying into your future, right? Into your dream life, into the most aligned version of yourself. Thank you so much, Pile 4. I hope you had fun exploring your future dream home today. If this vision lit something up inside of you, I have a ton of more pick a card readings on manifesting your rich life, your dream career, your money breakthroughs, and your next level self on my channel, Title Tarot. So be sure to check my channel page out. Please give this video a like, a subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, friends. Drop a comment if you're claiming this version of your life, and tell me what resonates or what you're most excited about, because you know I love to kiki with you all in the comments. So yes, I will see you on the next video. Lots of love. Bye, Pile 4.